All right. So, Mr. Daly, do you have other court this morning, Mr. Mott? No? All right. So, Mr. Daly, we will start with Mr. Jackson, and he is with you. So let me grab his file. Sorry. All right. So this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Michael Jackson. And we have file number 24-21871FH, 24-21854FH. Mr. Daly, you received a copy of the pre-sentence report?
I did, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Jackson, have you had an opportunity to read and review that pre-sentence report?
Yes, I have, Your Honor.
All right. And you've had an opportunity to discuss that with him as well?
Yes, I have.
All right. Are you satisfied with Mr. Daly as your attorney and the advice that he has given you?
Yes, I am.
All right. Mr. Daly, do you wish to explain or challenge the accuracy or relevancy of any information in the pre-sentence report?
No, Your Honor.
Does the pre-sentence report disclose any prior convictions in which there exists any known constitutional defect?
No.
So we got a bunch of guidelines. Let me get back there. So on file number 24-21871FH on the police officer assaulting, resisting, and obstructing, the probation department has calculated the minimum sentencing guidelines to be 7 to 23 months. Do you agree with that calculation of guidelines?
I do.
And on file number 24-21854FH, for the police officer fleeing fourth degree, the probation department has calculated the minimum sentencing guidelines to be 2 to 17 months. Do you agree with that calculation of guidelines?
I do.
And on file number 24-21854FH, police officer assaulting, resisting, and obstructing, the probation department calculated the minimum sentencing guidelines to be 7 to 23 months. Do you agree with that calculation of guidelines?
I do.
There was one misdemeanor, and obviously there weren't any guidelines for that. So before the court passes sentence, Mr. Daly, let me look at this. Is there anything you'd like to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. I've known Mr. Jackson for over 25 years, and he can be an excellent worker. He's an excellent carpenter. He's very good at what he does. What he's not very good at is handling problems that come along in life and cause him stress. And I think that's what happened in this case. And then it got coupled up after his first time he was picked up with reaching a point where he just kind of lost hope and didn't care. But he needs to put his life back together. I believe if he takes a drug test, he'd be drug-free. And I don't think that he's drinking right now. I don't know that for a fact, but I haven't seen any indication that he's doing those things. He needs to get his life back together. What he did twice is not something an individual with his abilities should have been involved in. And he knows that. I can't believe there's anybody that feels worse about the pain that he's caused his family by engaging in that kind of behavior. He knows it was wrong. He wants to correct it. And I don't know that it's been corrected yet, at least as far as any type of treatment goes. But getting some understanding of what's going on, what he needs. I know incarceration for jail is a likely possibility. It's just that I don't see in the amount of time that he would be there, that there are the resources available to give him the assistance he needs.
Okay. All right, Mr. Jackson, is there anything you want to say on your own behalf?
No, I'd just like to say that I know I completely messed up and I regret every bit I did of hurting anybody or harming anybody that was involved. And I, like James said, I just lost hope and everything turned into a domino effect. And I put myself in a big hole that should have never even happened. And now here I am and regretting what I did to everybody, myself, my family, the courts.
Okay, all right. All right. So in determining the appropriate sentence in these cases, the court has considered the seriousness of the offenses, your history, the principle of proportionality, the statutory penalty, the cost of confinement, the sentencing guidelines, the report and recommendation of the probation department, as well as what has been said upon the record at this hearing. The criteria and reasons for the sentence are the nature and gravity of the offense, the discipline appropriate to its commission, deterrence against repetition by you and by others, the potential for reformation, vindication for law, and the protection of society. Mr. Jackson, you went to prison for quite a long time, and once you were released from prison, it seems like alcohol has really taken a toll on your life. And I don't think you probably want to go back to prison, but you're heading on that path. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
All right. So on file number 24-21871FH, sentence of the court, you'll be placed on probation for a period of 2 years. During your term of probation, you are not to use or possess alcoholic beverages, intoxicants, go to bars. You must comply with all alcohol and drug testing. You're not allowed to use any illegal controlled substances. If there are any medications that are controlled substances, you need to make sure Ms. Holly is aware of it. You must complete, I am going to order a substance abuse assessment, Ms. Holly. So ordered. And then you're not to use obviously any object as a weapon. Submit to search and seizure of your person, property, if there is reasonable cause to believe you have violated the conditions of your probation. So that means no one in your house can have alcohol too. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. In lieu of 90 days in jail, I'm going to order that you do 90 and 90. Some kind of AA program where you go to 90 meetings in 90 days. Mr. Daly, I'm sure, has information on that. I'm going to defer the 90 days jail. I'll give you credit for 2 days served. Obviously, you violate probation, you're going to serve that 90 days. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
When you have your alcohol assessment, you're to follow any recommendations of that, because I do believe you have an alcohol issue. There is a crime victim assessment fee in the amount of $130 and $68 in the state costs, and that's on count 1 for the police officer assaulting, resisting, and obstructing. On file number 24-21871FH. On file number 24-21854FH, I'm going to give you 2 years probation. Again, same terms: no alcohol, no illegal controlled substances, comply with testing. I'm ordering the assessment on the other file. I'm going to defer the 90 days in jail. I'll give you credit for 4 days, as long as you complete the 90 and 90 for AA. I'm ordering that. In lieu of that, there is a crime victim assessment fee in the amount of $130, $30 per month supervision fee, $60 per month if we have to put you on a tether, $750 in court costs. And for both felony counts, there is a $68 state cost, so a total of $136. On count 3, the misdemeanor open container in a motor vehicle, I'm going to give you credit for time served. but I'm gonna order a $50 state cost and a $100 officer reimbursement fee. Let's see. Ms. Holly, anything else?
I don't think so.
All right, when do you want him to report?
Tuesday between 8 and 10.
All right, so Mr. Jackson, you need to report to Miss Holly Tuesday between 8 and 10 a.m. on the 3rd floor of the courthouse. I want you to start the 90 and 90, if not today, tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
Miss Adams, would it be possible to email or fax to Mr. Daly, Mr. Jackson's notice of right to appellate review? Mr. Daly, could you have him sign a copy and send it back to us?
I will.
Excellent, thank you. So Mr. Jackson, we're gonna send over to Mr. Daly's office and make sure you print 3 copies, Mr. Daly, I think. But 1 copy you're gonna initial and date, and Mr. Daly is gonna send it back to us so I know that you received it. The other copies are for you. If you wish to appeal your sentence, you would fill out the information on the form and mail it to the address listed on the form within 42 days, all right?
Okay.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Jackson.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I think that's all I have. Thanks.
You don't get to leave.
I do. I'm just across the hall to you.
All right. Okay, so Mr. Sloan, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good morning. Let me grab the file. All right, this is Miss Underwood. Were you able to reach Mr. Oh, no, Mr. Glazier just logged in. Got it. All right, so Mr. Sloan, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Daniel Robert Sloan. I have Katerina Dumont appearing on behalf of Mr. Sloan. This is the date and time set for sentencing. Mr. Sloan, have you had an opportunity to read and review the pre-sentence report?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you had an opportunity to discuss it with Ms. Dumont?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, are you satisfied with Ms. Dumont as your attorney and the advice that she has given you? All
Yes, Your Honor.
right, I do not have a probation officer. Why do I not have Tom Moore? That makes sense. It's probably down in Judge Olsevers. Hold on.
Hi, you've reached Agent Thomas.
All right. Hi, this is Judge Ann Sloan. I'm doing a sentencing on Daniel Sloan. I didn't know if Tom Moore was in today.
He's not in the office. Do you need him to zoom on or?
I have a bunch of sentencings that were Sarah Teskey's.
Okay, all right, I'll get a hold of him.
Or just,
Okay,
yes, somebody, thank you.
thanks, bye.
Mr. Glazier, your client requested to be here in person today, or you did?
I didn't know that, Your Honor. I got something over to do over in Judge Allsaver, so I won't be there for a while. I did have one question. I had him screened for drug court.
And I think he declined it.
Is that, I've never gotten a response on that. Is that what it was?
I don't know right this moment. So I just wondered, Miss Underwood, are you, yeah, you guys had asked that he come in person, so he is here. But have you already met with him?
I have not.
Okay, all right, well, okay, Mr. Sloan, are you again, I'm gonna ask you, are you satisfied with your attorney and the advice that she gave you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Dumont, do you wish to explain or challenge the accuracy or relevancy of any information in the pre-sentence report?
No, Your Honor.
Miss Underwood, do you want, Mr. Glazier is at home and he has not met with Mr. Collins to review the PSI. Do you want to review it with him?
I can do that.
So I'm gonna hand you my PSI. Okay,
It's fine.
all right. Okay, so Ms. Dumont, again, do you wish to explain or challenge the accuracy or relevancy of any information in the report?
No, Your Honor, I went over it with Mr. Sloan and he advised that it was
accurate.
Okay, thank you. Does the pre-sentence report disclose any prior convictions in which there exists any known constitutional defect?
No, Your Honor.
Probation Department calculated the minimum sentencing guidelines on this. Let me get back there. To be 0 to 11 months. Do you agree with that computation guidelines?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Attorneys come down to see yours now.
All right. So before the court passes sentence, is there anything you'd like to say on behalf of Mr. Sloan?
Your Honor, I went over the recommendation with him about the recommendation for probation for a term of 3 years, not to have any contact with Tony Rowe, and to get back into inpatient substance abuse treatment. He is open to that, or I apologize, outpatient. He would like to start counseling with either Catholic Charities or McCullough Vargas. So he does have a plan when he's released from jail. He took responsibility for his actions in the PSI. And what we would ask is if he could just have credit for time served. I know the recommendation is 6 months incarceration and then probation. However, he advised me he was in custody since October 13th of 2025 or 2024. I believe that was previously on a probation violation. And then this charge came on the 25th of October. So we would just ask if he could get credit for time served as opposed to the 6 months since he's already been incarcerated for a substantial amount of time.
Miss Holly, this is Mr. Sloan. Okay. See, I told you couldn't go anywhere. All right. So Mr. Sloan, is there anything you want to say on your own behalf?
No, ma'am.
In determining the appropriate sentence in this case, the court has considered the seriousness of the offense, your history, the principle of proportionality, the statutory penalty, the cost of confinement, the sentencing guidelines, the report and recommendation of the probation department, as well as what has been said upon the record at this hearing, the criteria and reasons for the sentence on the nature and gravity of the offense, the discipline appropriate to its commission, deterrence against repetition by you and by others, the potential for reformation, vindication for the law, and the protection of society. So, you know, you have a lot of positives. You've got your high school diploma. You are certified as an auto mechanic from VOTEC. You were very open, very honest during the investigation. Your substance abuse use, obviously, is your main issue. Okay. And then you're gonna go work at a marijuana shop when you get released. So what I'm gonna tell you, if that's a slippery slope, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So just understand your job is to make sure you're not in any situation that could cause you to relapse, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And I've run a recovery court now for like, I don't know, how many years, 6 years, 7 years now. And as much as, you know, I'm not a scientist and I'm not a psychologist, but I've had a lot of people who left recovery court and started smoking marijuana again, and most of them have relapsed. You know, the ones who just completely didn't use anything other than psychotropic medication for the mental health issues have done really well. So I'm not going to speak as to the science of that. I can only speak to what I see has happened. So,
Yes, ma'am.
all right. Sentence of the court be placed on probation for a period of 2 years. You're not to use any alcoholic beverages or other intoxicants. You can't hang out at the bar. You can go for dinner, but once it becomes solely a bar, you got to go. If you get a job at an establishment like that, you have to get permission from the probation department. You must comply with all alcohol and drug testing. You're not to use any illegal controlled substances or drug paraphernalia. Any controlled substances prescribed to you must be provided to the probation department before you fill it. You must complete any inpatient, outpatient, or residential programs if referred to by the field agent. Any psychological evaluations if referred to by the field agent, not to have any contact with Tony Rowe, either directly or through another person, and not be within 500 feet of their residence, school, or place of employment. You must obey and comply with any written or verbal orders made by the field agent. allow them entrance into your home at any time for probation supervision, just to verify your house. You must submit to search and seizure of your property or search of your person and property. That can be your house, your car, your phone, whatever, backpack, whatever, without need of a warrant if they have reasonable cause to believe that you have items that violate the conditions of your probation. You must report any arrest or police contact, loss of employment, or change of residence within 24 hours. You must, I'm gonna suspend your 6 months in jail. I'll give you credit for the 102 days already served. I'm going to order $750 in court costs, $130 crime victim rights fee, and $68 in state costs. So Mr. Sloan, I know you're clean now.
Yes,
I know
ma'am.
you have a place to go. I know you have a job waiting for you, but you better be clean on Tuesday, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you need to report to the probation department Tuesday morning between 8 and 10. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, anything else, Ms. Holly, can think of?
Did you do supervision fees?
Oh, and there's $30 per month supervision fee, 60 if we have to put a tether on you, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, now they're gonna give you your appellate paperwork at the jail. They're gonna have the initial and date, one copy that comes back to us, just to acknowledge that you received it. The other copies are for you. If you wish to appeal your sentence, you would fill out the information on the form and mail it to the address listed on the form within 42 days, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you want to do that no contact with Tony Rowe?
I already said that, yep, I got that.
Okay.
All right, okay, thank you, Ms.
Thank you,
Dumont.
Your
Thank
Honor.
So much, thank you.
Have a good day.
All right, Mr. Glazier, I gave a copy of my pre-sentence report to Ms. Underwood, and she's reviewing that with Mr. Collins now, all right?
All right, could you, well, I guess we can ask him, but I want to know if he turned down the drug court.
Well, I don't have anybody to ask that, but let me go call Teresa and I'll find out. Mr. Murphy, are you here on Vasquez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you want to go back to the jury room? Yeah, you can go this way. All right, so, Chris Jones, Mr. Vasquez says he was gonna pay this morning. Chris is,
Yeah.
yeah, he came over and saw me this morning. I'll call him.
Did Sloan have a VOP too or no?
Sloan was a VOP, I think, and he just had to pay. Hey, this is Judge Ann Sloan. Did Mr. Vasquez come pay? Okay.
So why are you done?
No, I got Mr. Murphy here, but if he, yeah.
I'll come over and talk to him.
No, he's on Zoom, so if you want to zoom in, you can. I'll put you in a breakout room with Matt.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Teresa. This is Anna Marie. So, did he reject spread? So is he in? Okay. And he hasn't. Oh, he's got pending ones. And so he can't start till those are taken care of. So, Mr. Glazier, I remember talking about Mr. Collins. So he was accepted, but he has those felonies out of Holland.
Okay, I didn't know he had felonies out. What did he have? Do you know what those are?
Do you have a copy of the pre-sentence report?
Yeah, I do.
On page 1, he's got like 2 pending dangerous drug charges out of Holland.
Will that prevent him from being in drug court?
Well, no, but he has to take care of all that before he can start.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna step off the bench till Miss Underwood gets back. Hold on,
You say on
Mr. Murphy,
page
I'm
one?
gonna, right on the cover page, it says pending charges. Oh, are you ready?
I think so.
Okay,
8547.
I just need my PSI back. On page 1 of the PSI.
Yeah, it doesn't, I don't see the pending charges. Oh,
Hold on, I'm gonna get mine and I'm gonna show you. All right, so if you look under
oh
the
yeah, I see it.
square,
I see it.
he's got a dangerous drug charge out of Holland and a dangerous drug felony out of Canton. So he's got 2 pending felonies in 2 different jurisdictions.
Okay,
So all that will have to be addressed. So we can admit him, and then once because I'm sure they got a holder on him for those, so.
Yeah.
I'm
Step up to the podium, Rhonda.
guessing with the addition to drug court, we're combining that for both sentencings.
Yeah, but he's got to take care of that stuff
The stuff from 38
and
and the 38.
and the 58. He's got 2 different jurisdictions, yeah. All right, he is on his way down, Mr. Glazier, and
okay.
you owe Miss Underwood lunch because she reviewed the PSI with him.
I'll pay her.
Or a
I'll get it.
raise, she probably
I'll
needs
buy
a
her
raise.
She doesn't eat much, so that's not gonna cost me a lot.
All right, maybe a raise then.
Question, do you find the?
Miss Underwood, could you go talk to Miss Collins?
I'm sorry.
The court find the places to go to you get?
Well, Ms. Collins, he has holders on other,
Yeah, I
Places.
understand that.
so that's gonna complicate that a little bit.
Okay.
But the court is very aware of it, and we're gonna work that out, okay?
Because I think you should be at a place like they'll try to keep you in there for years. They house you every day and,
Mr. Jones, I found out this weekend, they're looking at getting an Andy's place in Washtenaw County now too, like the one in Jackson.
Oh, are they?
That's awesome.
Did Mr. Murphy want to do a breakout?
Oh, Mr. Murphy, are you there yet? Oh, there
Yeah,
you
I'm
are.
here.
All right. So let me open up that breakout room. And Mr. Jones and Mr. Murphy. There you go. Okay. All right. Just stand next to Miss Underwood, please. All right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Darius Dwayne Collins, file number 24-21767FH, 24-21798FH. Those are both probation violation sentencings. And Ms. Underwood represents Mr. Collins on those files. And then we have a new sentencing on 24-22082FH. And Mr. John Glazier represents Mr. Collins on that file. Mr. Collins requested to be in person, so we brought him over today. Ms. Underwood, you had ample time to review both pre-sentence reports with Mr. Collins.
Your Honor, Mr. Collins reviewed the VLP report at the jail, and we reviewed the other report this morning. Mr. Collins, was that enough time for you?
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Collins, have you had an opportunity to discuss that with Ms. Underwood?
Very briefly.
Do you need more time?
I
got all morning. Are you sure? Because I can let you sit down over there and chat with her for a minute. Are you sure? Okay. Is there any questions well, I'll get to that. Are you satisfied with Ms. Underwood as your attorney and the advice that she's given you? Can you say that?
Yes.
All right. Are you satisfied with Mr. Glazier as your attorney and the advice that he's given to you? Okay. Do you have any questions about anything in the pre-sentence report that you feel that you weren't able to talk to your attorneys or have time to talk to your attorneys about?
We do have a,
Hold on, Ms. Underwood.
No.
Okay. And you guys, you're soft-spoken, so you're gonna have to speak up so my court reporter can pick it up. Ms. Underwood, do you wish to explain or challenge the accuracy or relevancy of any information in the pre-sentence report?
in the new pre-sentence report, Your Honor, I believe there was a calculation of jail time for Mr. Collins.
It said something about,
You gotta speak up for me.
the time of
jail spent, it ended in 9/13. And that's incorrect, it ended in, October. I got out in October.
Okay, so on the new one, it says that you were initially arrested on November 26th of 24, and you were released the next day on a pure bond. Is that correct? And then I revoked your bond back in January 9th of 25, and today is February 28th. So you remained in jail. So we have 51 days credit on the new file.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then on the probation violation report, that's probably the one. Okay, let's see what that says.
I think that's the same, Your Honor.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what he's talking about. So on the probation violation file, you have 167 days credit. Is that okay? You think?
No, because that's where the catch was.
So what, so on these, it shows you were initially arrested on March 4 of 24 and released like 2 months later on May 5. And then your bond was revoked again on August 1 of 24 through September 13 of 24.
That's where it is.
Okay, so you stayed in jail longer than September, and you actually got out on, hold on, let me pull that up. November 27.
No, I got out before that in October.
You got out in October? Do you remember the day you got out in October?
13.
So you stayed in jail to October 13th.
Yes.
Okay, so on the probation violation, I will give it another 30 days. So that would be 73 days on that second one. And we're gonna add, so the total credit, I'm gonna give you 197 days. Okay, so I don't know, Miss Holly, we'll just change it. Okay. Okay, is there anything else you wish to explain or challenge, Miss Underwood?
I don't believe so, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Glazier?
No, Your Honor.
All right, does the new pre-sentence report disclose any prior convictions in which there exists any known constitutional defect?
No, Your Honor.
It does not.
All right, Ms. Teskey had calculated the guidelines on this, the new file number 24-22082FH to be 0 to 17 months. Do you agree with that calculation of guidelines, Mr. Glazier?
Yes, I do.
All right, so on the probation violation file, Mr. Glazier and the new file and Miss Underwood, Mr. Collins was approved for recovery court. The only thing that will hold that process up is the 2 felonies that he has in other jurisdictions. So once those are taken care of and his probation transferred here, I guess from those jurisdictions, if he pleads or if he goes to trial, whatever, he can start the recovery court. But I'm gonna guess they have a holder on him, don't they?
It's a 100-mile radius pickup.
Yes, that's 100 miles, right?
No,
Canton?
no. I mean, Ken, I don't know what the lean is on that one, but the Holland one's 100 miles and we're past that, like 140.
Okay, all right, and then
Ken,
Canton,
I had a court date in January, but I couldn't go because I was in jail here, so.
okay. All right, so you understand no matter what, if you're gonna have to take care of those before you can start the recovery court program, all right? Okay, all right, counsel, you're here for the settlement conference?
Yes, sir.
My bailiff will let you back into the jury room with the other civil attorneys. All right, so, okay. All right, so, Ms. Underwood, is there anything you'd like to say on behalf of Mr. Collins on the violation of probation file?
Your Honor, just that I think it's obvious that recovery court is what Mr. Collins needs. He needs to address this issue, get it behind him, get the tools he needs to live a drug-free life and start paying child support and doing adult things, Your Honor. I think his mother is desperate for him to do that. I think the recovery court will help with that. I would encourage the court to do everything possible to get Mr. Collins jail lifted so that he can address the issues in the other jurisdictions and get back to recovery court as soon as possible.
Mr. Glazier, on your file, is there anything you'd like to say to the court before the court passes sentence? Hold on one second. Miss Adams, can you call the jail and see, or Mr. If there's a holder on Mr. Collins for anywhere? Thank you. All right, Mr. Collins, or I'm sorry, Mr. Glazier, anything you want to say on your file?
Your Honor, just, I thought I had him screened for drug court, and the recommendation I'm looking at doesn't seem to follow that request.
Well, the recommendation on the violation of probation is for recovery court, so I would order it on both files.
Okay, because if you follow the recommendation here, he can't get up there to take care of the other stuff, I don't think. So we'd ask you to sentence him to probation, enter in complete recovery court when he becomes available.
Judge, there's no holder.
Okay. So, Mr. Collins, you know, you're kind of unique for me, especially when I'm working with the people from recovery court, because most of the time I'm dealing with people with addiction issues that don't have a support system. And your mom has been here for everything. She obviously loves you and supports you and wants you to get help.
Yes.
Do you want to do recovery court?
Yes.
Do you want to, now the recommendation is to go to, I think it's for inpatient, isn't it, Ms. Holly?
Yes.
And are you willing to do that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Is there anything you want to say on your own behalf?
No.
Okay. All right. In determining the appropriate sentence in this case, the court has considered the seriousness of the offenses, your history, the principle of proportionality, the statutory penalty, the cost of confinement, the sentencing guidelines, the report and recommendation of the probation department, as well as what has been set upon the record at this hearing. The criteria and reasons for the sentences are the nature and gravity of the offense, the discipline appropriate to its commission, deterrence against repetition by you and by others, the potential for reformation, vindication of the law, and protection of society. So, Mr. Collins, on file number 24-21767FH and 24-21798FH, those are the violation of probation files. I am going to give you credit on each file for 197 days served, and order that you enter and complete the recovery court program. And okay. I'm not going to order any further jail on that file. All right. And your probation will be continued on that file. So then we move to file number 24-22082FH. So, Mr. Collins, on this file, it's sent to the court to be placed on probation for a period of 3 years. During that term of probation, you will obey and comply with all terms of probation. You are not to use any illegal controlled substances. You're not to consume alcohol. You're not to possess paraphernalia. You're not to pull another one up. Add language now. Let's see. You must complete. So I am going to order that he can be released on this file to an inpatient program. And then you can actually probably get some assistance in communicating to those other counties to try to zoom in for hearings or to try to take care of that. You are to enter, you are to serve on those files 6 months in jail with credit for 102 days, but I'm going to allow you to be released to inpatient treatment as soon as we can find a bed. Okay. When you attend inpatient treatment, you can't leave. You can't get in trouble. You know, you just kind of go through the process, stay out of, you know, trouble. Understand if you leave, that's a violation of probation. Okay. Um,
Are those a violation?
no, this is the new file.
The new one, you're giving 6 months, okay.
So it's a recommendation of 6 months with credit for 102 days, but I'm gonna release them
Oh,
to inpatient treatment as soon as the bed's available.
okay.
You must take all medication as prescribed by a physician, and understand that if they order a psychiatric evaluation, they'll help you through that process to get it done. You must submit to search of your person and property. That could be your house, your vehicle, your computer, a backpack without warrant if the field agent has reasonable cause to believe that you have items which violate the conditions of your probation. They are allowed to enter your house at any time for supervision to make sure you're in compliance. You must comply with verbal or written orders made by the field agent. You are right, there's $130 crime victim rights fee and $68 state costs. I'm not gonna assess court costs on this file because you have them on your other file. And you have a hellacious restitution order on your felony child support case,
Yes.
right? So I'm much more interested in that being paid.
Okay.
All right, so $68 state cost, $130 crime victim rights fee, and then there's a supervision fee for probation, but they only charge it once, not on each file. Do you understand that? So Mr. Collins, the recovery court program that's set up here is wonderful. I'm a small part of it. I'm not the most important part of it. There are a team of people who are available 24 hours a day. When, you know, if you have a relapse or if you think you're going to have a relapse, there's group programming. I mean, it's a really good program. And I've had former clients that I never thought would successfully complete it. You know, they've got their kids back, they're, you know, with their family, they're doing these amazing things. So it's a good program. You just have to have patience with yourself to complete it. Am I missing anything, Miss Holly?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Judge,
All right. Yes.
I'm sorry. He pled to a contempt on January 15th.
Oh, and I'll give him credit for time served on the contempt.
Thank you.
Judge, I
Anything
sent
else,
you a
Miss
message.
Adams? What, Miss McGrain?
I sent you a message.
Okay, they send me messages everywhere. Okay, now, you do have another case in the family division and in the
Juvenile.
yeah. So, we will, let them know that you're gonna be released to an inpatient program, and you can actually Zoom for those hearings.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll send a message down for that, and then you have an attorney on that file?
No.
No, okay,
I need one.
say it again,
So I probably need one.
did you ask for one?
We haven't got there yet. I don't know.
Oh, we haven't, okay, all right, so we'll make sure they're aware of this. All right, so you do have a right to appeal all these sentences. So my bailiff's gonna hand down to your notice of right to appellate review. He's gonna have you initial and date 1 copy for each file for our records to acknowledge you received the paperwork. The other copies are for you. If you wish to appeal your sentence, you would fill out the information on the form and mail it to the address listed on the form within 42 days or send it over to us from the jail. So go ahead and do that. So, Miss Holly, who will?
Inpatient? I'm not sure, we were talking about that.
Mr. Moore is my
Yeah,
recovery
he'll
court
probably-
person.
he'll Probably have to do it.
Yes, so Tom Moore is our probation officer assigned to recovery court right now. He's out today. So he'll be reaching out to you to set up the inpatient, all right? Tom Moore.
Okay.
So. All right, I've received back the signed copies of the notice of right to appellate review. I think that's it. Is there anything else, Ms. Underwood?
I don't think so, Your Honor.
Mr. Collins, I look forward to seeing you in recovery court. It's a great program.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you, Your
I
Honor.
don't think that you have anything else for me this morning.
Huh?
I don't think you have anything. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, thank you, Mr. Glazier.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Murphy,
Judge, some reason it says in the paperwork that I didn't graduate high school. I do have a high school diploma.
okay, Adrian?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll make that change.
Do you have it? You guys gotta show it.
Just bring it, you graduated.
Okay, just bring in the certificates. We can't, we're not allowed to say it happened unless we actually see the diploma. Yeah, but that's why it says
I
it.
should have been in high school, right?
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Murphy, did you talk to Mr. Jones?
Yep.
I don't see Mr. Vasquez. Okay, the sentencing's at 8:15. That means you don't leave IPSI at 8:15. And I have a busy morning, so, have you talked to him, Mr. Murphy?
I haven't talked to Mr. Vasquez in a very, very long time.
All right, so, do you want to call for him in the hall?
Judge, I apologize. I'll just do a report when you do something.
You don't want me to issue a bench warrant?
I prefer not to. I don't.
Oh, okay. All right, now that you're all up in your fields today.
My goal is, Judge, he's gonna pay today. He's gonna be a little bit short, but I was like.
All right, so Mr. Murphy, Mr. Jones has asked me not to issue a bench warrant for your client. So I will not do that. Mr. Jones will reschedule this, I guess.
Yeah, I'll have a.
And hopefully Mr. Vasquez just pays and then it'll get dismissed.
Hopefully, Your Honor, that would be nice.
Okay, all right, so, but
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Vasquez, hold on, Mr. Vasquez. What's your name?
Jeremy Vasquez.
Okay, come on in. All right, now I got him. All right, in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Jeremy Enrique Vasquez, file number 23-21434FH. Mr. Vasquez, why don't you come up to this podium?
Okay.
All right, you can move that microphone for yourself. So, Mr. Jones, what you got?
Judge, you paid $600 this morning. You still have an outstanding balance of $408.
408?
Yeah. And I guess I would leave it up to the court. What do you want to do?
How long do you need to pay $408?
To be honest, Your Honor, I think one more month would be just because I have to pay rent too, and
Okay,
at that
okay.
transition living where I live in.
Okay. So,
Anything.
Miss Adams, I'm looking for a sentencing date like April 11, April 18. April 18 is fine. If we're here.
Let's say no more, April 18th.
Say it again.
We could do April 17th
At what time?
at 8:15.
All right, can I get a notice of hearing from Mr. Vasquez?
Okay.
Mr. Murphy, does that work for you?
Yes, Your Honor. And this, I mean, he basically all he needs to do is pay what's left to be
Yeah.
owed, right? So,
Yeah. So as soon as you can pay that, Mr. Jones will process it and then you won't have to come back.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Have a seat right behind you and we'll get you a notice of hearing before you go. All right, thank you. Everybody have a good.
Mr. Vasquez, could you just call my office next week sometime and make sure we have good contact information for you in case we need to contact you?
Yes, sir.
All
Thank you, Mr.
All right, I think that concludes our criminal docket for the morning. All right.
Thank you.